Good morning.
I love the gong.
Well, thank you. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living North Metro. I'm Reverend Torphy.
I'm Reverend Valerie Torphy.
We have Greg Boston up there. He's producing the show today. We have Ernestine, who is going to be doing our affirmations and our reading. And the one, the only beautiful, all the way from New Mexico, live in our living room, is Susan Clark. Hey, Susan.
Good morning.
We're going to get started with evocation. Would you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I just invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath in. As we recognize there is only one life, one power, one presence, one infinite intelligence in, as, and through all there is. And I know that that one is my life, Reverend Michael's life, and Greg's, and Sheila's, Ernestine's, Susan's, and Kim was here with us as well. And everyone listening to us today, and watching, and everyone everywhere, right here, right now, all the time. And so I bless this service as it unfolds this day. I bless it with love and peace and truth and harmony. I know that it unfolds absolutely perfectly, and all that needs to be said is said, and all that needs to be heard is heard, and we all are touched, remembering the truth of who we are, our oneness with the divine, our oneness with each other, our oneness with all that is. And so in absolute gratitude, I simply say, so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
So it is.
Thank you. We're going to get going here with a song from Susan Clark. You do us the honor, Susan.
Thank you. So nice to be here in your living room.
Yeah.
See everybody in person. This was my intention a few weeks back, and here I am. That's how it works.
Nice.
I'm going to do a song by Dan Fogelberg. This is actually a waltz, if you'd like to dance. This is called The Higher You Climb. The higher you climb, the more that you see. The more that you see, the less that you know. The less that you know, the more that you yearn. The more that you learn, the higher you climb, the farther you reach, the more that you touch, the more that you touch, the fuller you feel. The fuller you feel, the less that you need, the less that you need, the farther you reach. Oh, the higher you climb, the more that you see. The more that you see, the less that you know. The less that you know, the more that you yearn. The more that you yearn, the higher you climb. Yes, the more that you yearn, the higher you climb. in-person applause. I love it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And hello, Sheila Brainwork. Welcome. You weren't there at the beginning when I introduced everybody. Sheila co-produces this service, so thank you for your service. Good.
I got announcements. So like us and check in on Facebook at CSL North Metro, and check out our website at cslnorthmetro.org. There's lots of good stuff out there. All the links to all the services, and also the calendar of the things that we're doing and the stuff that's going on. You can get a prayer request. The affirmations that we do today and an affirmative prayer written by Stephan Anthony are also out there for your enjoyment and use on the website.
So use them.
So use them.
Yeah.
And if you shop on Amazon, go to smile.amazon.com, and if you're not hosting somebody else, we'd love to be your charity that you host. So while you shop, we also get paid, and that's a really nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
So today's title is Just Click Refresh. Mm-hmm. And I lost my train of thought. Oh, you already met Susan Clark, and today's reading is from Ernest Holmes' Seminar Lectures. That's an amazing little book. When I first started reading it, I thought, whoa, this is so deep, I can't get it. And I just, I just kept reading it. It just made more sense and more sense. So I'm really glad we're using it today. And so now we're going to the affirmations, yes. Right? So welcome, welcome. Ernestine. We can't hear her.
You're on mute.
Please repeat after me. I live within the abundant and prosperous good of the universe.
I live within the abundant and prosperous good of the universe.
The energy of spirit leads me forward with ease and grace.
The energy of spirit leads me forward with ease and grace.
I am guided and protected in all my choices and actions.
I am guided and protected in all my choices and actions.
Each moment presents me with growth, healing, and transformation.
Each moment presents me with growth, healing, and transformation.
I am open now to extraordinary opportunities in my life.
I am open now to extraordinary opportunities in my life.
Positive light bursts within my soul and shines outward eternally.
Positive light bursts within my soul and shines outward eternally.
And together we say,
and
so it is.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to do the reading. As Reverend Valerie said, it's from Seminar Lectures by Ernest Holmes. We are not acquainted with wholeness while we would hurt or dislike anything that lives. We are acquainted with some wholeness. We have some love. And if we have more love than another individual has hate, we can heal the hate with love. Because the one will cover the other. For that is the way love works. We must come to the place where love shall automatically heal all wounds. I love a few people, and you love a few people. That is probably the greatest joy in life. For there is nothing else that equals love and friendship. Nothing else in the world compensates for it. It is not to be bought or sold at the sea. It's the treasure of heaven. It's the lodestone of heaven, and it is the gift of life. And it is all there is that is worthwhile. Now suppose there are 6 people of whom I'm very fond. These 6 I love very much. Suppose, theoretically, I could love everyone I meet as I love those 6. Would I love those 6 less? No, of course not. It's very difficult to let go of the little And we cannot take hold of the big unless we let go of the little. Why are we afraid to do this? It is because we do not know how terrific love is. We don't know what it means. We don't know how to feel in its presence. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you for that.
Yes, it was a wonderful reading. Ah, breathing in all that good energy. Looking at another song with Susan Clark, if she feels like doing it.
Well, I feel like doing it. I'm here. I'm ready to sing. I picked out a song by Daniel Nahmod. This is called Water. I've seen my share of struggle when I thought that I knew best, when I've sailed through the storm instead of stopping to rest. And it always seems the hardest when I've made up my stubborn mind. Well, I'm changing my ways this time. I want to be like water coming down the mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. I want to be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Have you ever seen an eagle head straight into the wind? Oh, he doesn't pick a fight, spreads his wings and just gives in. And in the end he always makes it home just fine. I guess he knows that every storm subsides. I want to be like water coming down the mountain in the shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. I want to be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. I'll let nature take its course. No more thinking that I know where this river's meant to go. Oh, I've railed against the stars for the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery I never won, the heartache that I felt. But it always seems when I let go of expectation and regret, life has plenty of surprises for me yet. I want to be like water coming down the mountain in the shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. I want to be like water, flow uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. I want to be like water coming down the mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. I want to be like water, head uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Great.
Thank you so much. It's so neat having her here.
Oh, no.
Well,
Well,
being here. It is.
better.
Valerie was dancing. It's just that, right? Human contact is so important.
Looking at you, but you can't see us.
I can see you right here, so that's good for me. Yeah, happy to be here in
That's
person.
very good.
Great.
All right. Here we are
Here
again.
we are again.
You want to get started or do you want me to?
This is fun. Okay, I'll start. So today our title is
Just
Just Click
refresh.
Refresh.
Yeah.
And so where I went with that in the beginning is my computer. Because, you're working away and all of a sudden weird things start happening. And so you refresh it. And if that doesn't work, you turn it off and you turn it back on. And then usually that fixes it. Well, our brains are really a lot like that computer. But I know sometimes I don't think of clicking refresh. Like sometimes when I'm doing really challenging, difficult things, I think I can just like power through it. So instead of like taking the break and refreshing myself and then going back to, I'm getting way, way, way better at these things because that's why we call it practice. Because we practice and we practice and we practice, and then sometimes we forget and we do it the old way again, and then we remember and we practice. So one of the things that they talk about computers is garbage in, garbage out. And so another way I've heard it is thinking. And so when we're having those thoughts and those things, then we're going to get what we're thinking. I was just listening to Ernest Holmes this morning, and he says it over and over and over, that what we're focusing on, we create. What we're thinking about, we create. What we're saying, we create. And so he says if we say, oh, I'm just so tired, we're creating that. If we say, and this one's mine, I claim it, I'm just so busy, I'm creating that. And I was talking to a friend this week, and he said, you've been creating that for 22 years. I'm like, well, that's all you've known me. I've been creating that a lot longer than that. And I'm getting better. Just remembering to reset and refresh, and just because a thing was like that yesterday doesn't mean it needs to be like that today.
Mm-hmm.
So remembering, so I was reading that seminar lectures, and Ernest Holmes is talking about being on his way somewhere, and he picks up a guy that needed a ride, and the guy had just been released from the service, and he was on his way somewhere, and Ernest Holmes says, I could feel the negative energy just vibrating from him as we're sitting in the car. And so I decided we should stop for a cup of coffee. So we got some coffee, and I bought him a sandwich. And then the guy said something about, that waitress doesn't like me. And he's like, why would you even say that? How did you get along with your mother and your father? And that's why he stopped, to get this guy talking, and so they could do something. And then he told me stories of this and of that. And Ernest Holmes said, so you're still carrying their corpses on your back. Mm-hmm. So the thing is dead and gone. The situation is gone. And how many times do we still carry it? And he said, and so now you've decided that waitress doesn't like her, so you piled that one on your back. So based on the conversation we're having, you've already got 6 corpses that you're carrying around. And then he says to the guy, wouldn't you like to be happier? And of course he says yes. And so he was able to begin to have the conversation with people. And I just think about the times that we allow ourselves to be upset or have our feelings hurt or have a reaction to something that happened a really long time ago. And so if we just click refresh, regardless of what it was, how it was, who was right, who was wrong, how it was wrong, if it's making us miserable now, it's time to let it go.
Yes.
And so that reminded me, I think it was Einstein that said, insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. And so if we're going along, acting the same way, thinking the same thoughts, doing the same thing, and expecting different results, we're going to keep getting what we're thinking about, what we're talking about, what we're doing. And so we really have to begin to change those thoughts and change the way we think about things. You want to talk about that, since you're talking about thoughts a little bit?
Yeah. When you think a thought and believe it to be so, even though it may not be so, probably isn't so, then what you're doing is that belief is creating a place of acceptance. And once you've accepted something as true, it takes a lot of work to get out of that. And it's all about questions and answers. Because when we get to a place where we're, I'm seeing a squirrel out in our yard. Got distracted there for a second.
Squirrel, squirrel.
When you get into a place where you're feeling less than and you're not feeling so great about yourself, a lot of times you'll ask the wrong questions. Why is this happening to me? Why am I feeling this way? And when you ask why, the universe is going to keep showing you why, and you're going to keep doing the same. You're going to be in that circle that goes over and over again. But remember, you are the question and the answer, because spirit lives and dwells and has its being as you. So being the question and the answer, then you can ask the question and give the answer. And I just thought the most perfect questions to ask, and it works for me, maybe it'll work for you. And the best answer to give. Is it true that God is all that there is? Yes. Is it true that I'm one with God? Yes. Is it true that God is all that there is? Yes. Let that yes be your refresh button, because that yes is accepting the truth that is, was, and always will be, that we are children of God, and God is all that there is. There cannot be anything else. Think about it. If there was duality in the universe, it wouldn't be called the universe. It'd be called the biverse or the triverse or something like that. But it's the universe. There's only one thinker. There's only one lover. There's only one place for all the answers to be answered. And that's the dwelling place within you, right where spirit lives. All its glory, all its splendor. And it will get you through anything. It will take you on a journey that is so profound and so amazing that you'll have to stop and say, is this really happening to me? Yes. Yes, it is. It's always happening, because you are the question and you are the answer. And you get to ask and answer the questions yourself. I was thinking about that refresh thing too. It's so easy to push the refresh button. When you're thinking along with certain lines and you want to change that, and you type something else in, push the refresh, and it'll be there. And that's the same thing with our mind. We have dominion over our consciousness. If I say I am love and I believe it, then I am love. And if I say I'm peace and believe it, then I am peace.
And if you say you're miserable,
I wouldn't say that.
no, you wouldn't.
But if one was called,
Why we're going to do that?
don't do that.
Don't do that.
No. Yeah. Got something else? Let me think for a second.
Okay. So Ernest Holmes says, we must strike out for the heights, away from the mists and fogs of doubt, and must see things through the eyes of spirit. So he was talking this morning on the CD I listened, which you can get at the Archives website if you want to, scienceofmindarchives.com. He was talking about, now I lost my train of thought. I guess I'll have to go somewhere else. I can't remember where.
Read it again.
We must strike out for the heights, away from the mist and fogs of doubt, and must see things through the eyes of spirit. So when we're going through the mist and the fog, and we're going through the doubts and the despair, and that is part of the human experience.
Yes.
And we do have those feelings, and I think the point is to not stay stuck in it. To understand where we are, and that we need to be thinking about what we want to manifest and where we're going with it, because as soon as we say it, we've made it real. And so I want to read this one too. Christian Sorensen in the Science of Mind magazine said, sometimes life knocks us down and we feel like we're being buried alive. The heavy darkness from pain, sadness, numbness, and disbelief closes in attempting to snatch our final breath away. So this wake-up call may come as a surprise call to be proactive rather than reactive to life. To reach the higher ground that reveals itself. The universe speaks to us constantly. It's always allowing us to refresh and rethink and recreate. Because every moment we're creating. And every thought we have, we're creating. Everything we voice, we're creating. Everything we do, we're creating. And so as we begin to refresh, yes, we have the feelings that we have. And instead of, for example, oh, I'm so tired, I'm sure you won't get anything done today. Refresh it. I'm just going to take a jog around the block, and then I'm going to go back and sit in my chair, because that's what I do. And I'm going to get a really lot done today. And it makes a huge difference.
Oh, yeah. There's so many different ways that you can refresh. The most powerful way for me is to get still and go within and just be quiet. Let the brain do what it's going to do, because it was active before you went into the silence, and it will probably be active for a while till you connect with yourself, which I did this morning. I was having doubts in everything I wanted to talk about today, and I was like, this isn't true. And I even left my notes upstairs at one point, thinking I got nothing. And so when I went upstairs, I met an old friend. It's a CD that I used to use a long time ago to help me drown out the sounds of my mind and the sounds that are around me. And it's the one we used to listen to. I'll get it, it'll come. But anyway, I put that on, and I just drifted off into this wonderful place, into this magnificent place. And when I came out, I was refreshed. Mm-hmm. And just listening to that music, Shamanic Dream, yeah.
It's a good one.
It's a good one to meditate to. But it just changed everything. It changed the energy, it changed my energy, and it uplifts me. But there are other ways we can do it. We don't have to go into a long meditation. We can just close our eyes for 3 minutes. You got a little timer on your phone, put in 3 minutes, go within, and just be still. And you'll be, you won't be shocked. I was shocked when I started practicing it, how it just cleanses. It cleanses everything in you. Just taking that 3 minutes. I think it's one of the great teachers said, if you don't have to do long meditations if it doesn't work for you. You can do short meditations all day long. 3 minutes here, 3 minutes there, 5 minutes here, and it refreshes just as well as a long meditation. Another way is pull out a book, open it up, pull out a spiritual book, open it up, and just put your finger someplace, and it always has at least for me, there's always a message I need to hear. That's a good way to refresh. Listen to your favorite spiritual music, which I did this morning, and I hadn't played that in I don't know how.
Times since I've listened to it too.
But it just took me to the place where it always used to take me. What else I got? Oh, just simply closing your eyes and asking the question and giving the answers. Is God all that there is? Yes. Am I one with God? Yes. Let that yes take you into another space that goes beyond space and time. You are divine. I want you to know that you are divine. Everybody listening in right now, all those that may listen later on YouTube or Facebook, it's never too late to tell yourself you are divine. I am divine. What a powerful thing to step into. It's the truth. Because you believe it, I believe it, so therefore it is. And in the believing, again, it's important to understand that in your believing is the road to accepting. So use your beliefs as often as you can, because believing is being, believing is accepting. And I accept for everybody listening here today that you find that divine path that takes you from wherever you were just a few seconds ago into the beauty of just being the perfect emanation God. I looked up and there was that Mandela, and it struck me. It just like filled me with energy in that moment.
So this morning's reading, I love that part about we can just have a little more love than the hate, then we can heal that hate.
51%.
Well, that too. One of my favorite things that's in the Science of Mind book is if we can change our thinking, the 51% positive, just 51%, not 100%, not 85, not 75, 51%, it can change our lives. We can all do that. We can all, as we're starting to go down that very comfortable old path of doubts and negativity. And last week's book, I was reading about how we all get, so what did he say? Don Miguel Ruiz talks about how we all get, I can't think of the word he used, but we come in like these happy beings, and then we're culturalized, and that's not domesticated, that's the word he used, into feeling less than, and into not being happy, and into thinking we have to do to be. And he talked about, and I know I talked about this last week, but how when you're with a 2 or 3 year old and they just play all day and they're just happy all day. And I happen to have the opportunity to have a 2-year-old that I get to spend a lot of time with. And he really is. He's just, until, okay, when he gets upset, he gets upset. But then when he's over it, he's over it. He doesn't carry it around and go, well, you did thus and such, or you did this and such, or we should have that. He's over it. And he's back to being happy.
Kids have good refresh buttons.
They do. And so what happens to us, and then he really talked about how we just get domesticated into all the to-dos and all the things and all the reasons that, and instead of just being who we really are, and that is our absolute oneness with God. And that each one of us came here to learn and be and do. And one of the things that we came in to do is remember who we are. Remember our oneness with God. Remember the truth of our being is that oneness.
I just thought of the other thing you heard from Ernest Holmes talking about religion. Tell him that one.
I marked it because I wanted to read it in his words, which is what it is here. He's telling that young man, because he was telling him that he was a minister, and the kid says, what kind of minister are you? And he said, I told him that I didn't like any of the religions I was acquainted with, and so I made up one that I did like.
And that should be true about every aspect of your life. If there's something you don't like, make something up that you do like. That's a refresh button. Refresh yourself. It's that easy. Once you practice this long enough, it's amazing how easy it becomes. And then there's times like this morning for me where it just vanishes for some reason. But it was up to me to get back there, because I thought, how can I get out of this? Nothing's working. And then all of a sudden, shamanic dream came into my head. And I went through all my CDs looking for it. Finally was, and it was like, yes it is. And so refresh yourself. If you got to do it 10 times a day, do it 10 times a day. Because aren't you worth it? I mean, really, aren't you worth it? Sure, God thinks you are, then you can't argue with that. Who wants to argue with God?
That's right. Okay, I want to read this one too. This is from It's Up to You by Ernest Holmes. all that is in the universe is with us. Nothing is against us. Each one of us has access immediately in our own consciousness to that absolute unconditional presence, which molds us and makes things out of itself, by itself, directly by becoming the thing it makes.
Yeah. Very someone sure knows how to say it.
So I was thinking about that loving 6 people and then turning that into loving everyone we meet, and how that doesn't make any less love. It doesn't make less love for the people that we love. It just makes more love. And the more love that we make, the more negativity we're going to dissolve. And so I have always done this. It's like I've always talked to people in grocery lines. Sometimes I'm standing there in the grocery line and there's somebody next to me that I have never seen before who starts asking me for advice about something. And it's always happened to me. I didn't even think that it was unusual until I realized most people don't have that experience.
You do the same thing. You ask strangers things that, oh, what do you think about this thing? You think this one or this one's good?
One of my favorite stories is I'm in the used store, my favorite used store, and I've decided I need some Christmas dishes. And so the way they do things there is they just put all that stuff out. And so if I want the ones that match, I have to go through all the piles of the dishes, and then all the piles of the saucers, and then all the piles. And so I'm standing there doing that. And somebody comes up and says, oh, I'll help you. So we got piles on the floor and we're putting all the dishes together while I'm picking the ones I want. And then other people are coming in there helping us too. And then some people are finding some that they're loved. So we're looking at them. There were 6 of us standing there picking out dishes. And it was so much fun. It was so much more fun than if I just bought a box of dishes. And I know every one of our days were better for that interaction that we had because we were helping each other find Christmas dishes.
Yeah, and sometimes your refresh button comes from somebody else.
And sometimes it does.
Somebody's like, you don't need to do this, click. You're fine. Everything is good. Enjoy life. Live life. Let it be. Let it be.
So, Whittier, no, maybe it isn't Whittier. I mean the first name. Love only knows and comprehendeth love. Love only knows and comprehendeth love. So that's the Spirit only knowing love. And so we as individual expressions of that Spirit in this human form, and I've talked about this before, the form is in the Spirit. And the energy field that we put out goes about 6 feet all the way around us. And so sometimes when we can feel that positive energy from people, and we can feel that negative energy from people. And I've had times where I actually had to leave a room because the energy coming from someone was impacting me in such a negative way. It's like I gotta just rescue myself here and go back to the place where I can have this positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you don't have to dislike the person for doing that because it has nothing to do with you and them. It's just, that's happening. This is what I'm going to do, and it's all okay. Refresh.
Yeah.
Step outside and refresh.
And take care of ourselves. I was just reading the other day about the Norwegians being some of the healthiest people on earth. And it talks about one of the things, there are lots of different things, but one of the things that they do is spend a lot of time outside. And I know that those of us who garden know how healing it is to just go out in our own backyard and dig in the dirt and pick the flowers and pick the weeds. And I was thinking about how cold it is there. And yet they're the people that spend the most time outside. And that's one of the things that makes them healthy. And it feels like during the past year and a half or so that we've been so locked up, we aren't out as much as we used to be. And so I think just making myself take that time to go outside or wear my mask and go visit a friend or whatever it is that I need to do to begin to, because as we spend that time just feels like stuck in the houses, then negative feelings can creep in. And so we get to refresh.
Yeah, that's easy. Easy breezy. So anything else?
Yeah, I want to say one thing.
Okay.
We cannot take hold of the big unless we let go of the little. We don't know how terrific love is not to feel it now. So now we need to feel its presence. I don't think I said that right. When it's difficult to let go of the little, we can't take hold of the big until we let go of the little. So that's good enough.
Because two things can occupy the same space. Love and hate cannot occupy the same space, one or the other. And we're always at choice, so we can choose love all the time. Peace and conflict can't hold the same space.
So it's just like with that computer. Sometimes, I mean, it's really easy to tell on the computer when we need to hit refresh because we're getting gobbledygook or whatever it is that we're getting. I had some weird stuff happen yesterday. It's like, yes, turn it off. And then while it's rebooting, why don't I take a couple minutes for myself and refresh myself as well? And I think sometimes it's easier to recognize that in my computer than it is to recognize, wow, I've been sitting in this chair a really long time. I need to get up and go get a drink or go outside or do something else to let the brain cells refresh themselves before I sit back down and face whatever it is I'm facing. Yesterday, no, the day before that, it was spreadsheets. One of my favorite things. They're really nice, except when you save something and then you bring it back up and the columns went like this. So,
Welcome to
refresh.
Welcome to our world.
So I think that's about what I had to say.
Yeah, I think it was refreshing. So it'd be even more refreshing to do a prayer. You got a prayer in there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. How good it is.
How good it is. And so I just close my eyes and I invite you to take a deep breath and breathe in that good and that wonder and that love and that spirit and that place and that peace. And breathe out anything that might be worrying you or troubling you or holding heavy on your heart. Just breathe it out. And remember that whether we're breathing in and out consciously or unconsciously, it's constantly going on. We're constantly breathing in that fresh breath and letting out what no longer serves us. Breathing in the fresh and letting out what no longer serves us. God is breathing our breath and feeding our hearts, and we think our thoughts in God. That is the truth of our being, our oneness with the one life and the one presence and the one absolute love. That is all it is. That there is no other thing than that love. And so I just invite us to breathe in that love. And know that peace and know that truth and know that oneness and know that absolute power and presence that we are one with. And to also then expand our being into recognizing that regardless of how someone else might be showing up in the world, as we hold them in love, that which is not love dissipates. As we spread out that love from the 6 people to the many, we create more love and more love and more love into the world. And so as each one of us becomes more love and spreads more love and is more love, we create that world that works for everyone. So in absolute gratitude, I pass this word to Reverend Michael.
And I invite you to just be silent for a few seconds. And in that silence, let something that's troubling you, even if it's minute, let it surface. See it as a thing, whatever it is. See it as a thing. And in this moment, picture a refresh button someplace on your body and click it. And know right here, right now, that that trouble isn't no longer in you. There's a divine idea that has replaced it, and it'll continue to expand and grow and release other areas of your life that you want to refresh. I know this for myself. I know it for Reverend Valerie. I know it for each and every person that is part of this service today and beyond. I hold this truth to be so, that wherever there's a conflict, wherever there's pain, wherever there's any sort of regret over a mistake, just let it go and replace it with something greater.
Yes, yes, yes.
See your grandchild. See that sacred place you like to camp.
Yes.
See that person that you like and love so much. And just replace it. Refresh. 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 I know this is the day that God has made.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I rejoice in it.
Yes.
So very grateful for this day and all that is still to take place. Grateful for each and every individual that is within the sound of my voice, knowing that this blessing travels directly to you and shifts all the good that is yours to accept. I accept it for you. Now accept it for yourself.
Yes.
In this place of gratitude, I now release this word, knowing that it is done, complete, fulfilled, and is so in your experience. So with a deep sense of thanks, I let go, I let God, and together we say,
And
so it is.
Amen. Amen. Aho. And woohoo!
Yeah.
Every morning brings a new beginning. By grace, another day to be. I awaken to the sun upon me shining, lighting the way for me to see. All things that I sought and the way that I thought stopped serving me so long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God in all of us. Of yesterday I'm letting go. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the less than that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to such sadness. Today is the day I walk away. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Thank you. Thanks.
Hey, thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It was so lovely to have your music behind our prayers and things
Oh,
too.
it's one of my favorite
I
things.
really missed
My
that.
favorite
Yeah.
things to do. Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to make a few announcements, and then we'll be back to you for the final song.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
So check in with your heart, see where it lands, see if it feels like you received something beautiful today, something that inspired you, something that uplifted you, something that changed something for the good, and you want to give back, then just consider us as a place of your giving.
Yeah.
We would appreciate it, and we send the love right back to you, because that which you give comes back multiplied. You want to
I
tell me that?
do. So if you use Venmo, you can put your phone up by that QR code, and it'll take you right to donating for us. And the easiest way, other than that, is to go to our website, cslnorthmetro.org. There's a couple ways to give right there. And for those of you who like to text, you can text YUGIVE to 888-364-GIVE. And so that's it.
So I ask you to point your energy towards this basket or towards your screen, and know the energy flows out and it can't be stopped by the screen. So please repeat after me. I'm so very grateful
I'm so very grateful
for this moment in time,
for this moment in time,
for all the good in my life,
for
all the good in my life.
and so I give back
And so I
So
give back
with deep gratitude,
with
Deep gratitude,
and knowing that it is so,
and
knowing that it is so.
I let it be,
I let it be.
and so it is.
And so it is.
Yes,
Yay.
and thank you for your contributions.
Yes. And for watching us and participating with us, and for coming, and for however you do it.
Yes.
Yes,
So I'm ready for another song. You ready for another song?
absolutely.
I'm sure everybody is.
That's good, because I happen to have another
Oh,
song. This is by Amy Steinberg. If you've not heard of Amy or listened to her music, please check her out. She is just a blast. So talented, so gifted. This is a song of Amy's called Rise. Look up and you're sure to go up. Look down and you'll probably fall down. Place your attention on where you want to be, and you will be there eventually. Look out and you're sure to go out. Look back and you'll probably fall back. Place your focus on what you want to be, and you will be it so easily. Rise, rise out of the old paradigm. Rise, rise into the presence of the divine. Rise, rise out of the old paradigm. Rise, rise into the presence of the divine. Oh yeah. Think good and you're sure to feel good. Think love, you're probably falling in love. Watch your thoughts and choose carefully, and you will become, yes you will be, just what you want to be. Rise, rise out of the old paradigm. Rise, rise into the presence of the divine. Rise, rise out of the old paradigm. Rise, rise into the presence of the divine. Look up and you're sure to go up. Look down, you'll probably fall down. Place your focus on where you want to be, and you will be there. Yes, I promise that you'll get there. Oh, I know that you'll be there eventually. Rise up, rise up. Only one way. Rise
want to have you join us on Zoom right after this service so we can all get together and have some more of this good fun. So there's a link on the screen. And if you didn't get it, you can always go to our website, cslnorthmetro.org, because all of the links are out there. And sign up to get our emails so that you can stay in tune with the things that we're doing. And we got a class coming up too. So, all right.
And
Time to
Ernestine
sign out and-
saying hello. Yes.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.
Inspiring.
So,
Great job. Beautiful
Oh, very
music.
inspiring.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Greg and Sheila, for the selfless work that you do. They're in New Mexico.
Greetings from Santa Fe.
Santa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
We're in Santa Fe and I'm in Denver. So go figure it out.
they just switched
We did a big flip flop, didn't we?
the energy level.
And thank you so much for doing this wherever you happen to be in the world, because we couldn't do this without you. So thank you.
So if you would close your eyes
Pleasure.
and just know the truth, that God is all that there is, and you and I are one with God. And that's all you need to know. That can take you through everything. So we send this energy of knowing who and what we are across the face of the planet, knowing that it lands and touches those that are open for receiving it, and in some way lifts them up beyond their pain, beyond their conflict, beyond their lack or limitation, rises it to another level where they can see clearly now. And I know that as we touch those people around the world, it begins to multiply. More people touch more people, and the peace and the love and the energy of pure spirit is unleashed and takes us to places beyond our imagination. So for this and so much more, I'm eternally grateful. Grateful for Greg and Sheila, grateful for Susan, grateful for Ernestine, and grateful for Kim, who's here today. Just deep gratitude pours through my every part of my body. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This word is complete and now revealing itself in all our experiences. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you.
And join us on Zoom.
Bye bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
I keep thinking they see. Bye.